Hey, what's up everybody? Lawler here, your Rocket League Insider. A lot to cover today, but we're going to be pretty quick about it. First and foremost, we've got to talk about the new patch notes, and the second thing, there's a new $10,000 tournament coming to North America. But before we get into any of that, as always, if you guys enjoy the content, make sure you guys give it a thumbs up, as well as making sure to hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on any of the videos. And if you guys enjoy it, or if you have any questions, down below in the description, you can find my socials, and leave a comment while you're down there as well if you have any questions, comments, concerns about what the heck we're talking about. With that said, let's get into it. So first things first, we've got patch notes for version 1.84, and this one's going to be pretty straightforward because there's only one thing we really care about. We asked and they listened. Psyonix has implemented now a quick play option back into Rocket League. If you guys haven't seen this or don't know what this is, there should be some video footage that's playing while I'm talking. And now when you go into the game, and it's not going to show up initially, you have to queue something first before it shows up. After you back out, either with the top button out of your buttons on the right hand side of your controller, there is also a keyboard shortcut. I don't know what it is, but there is a quick play button now after you get done with the playlist, something that we have desperately wanted and is good to see back. Hopefully next they end up implementing an easy access training option on the main menu. Alongside that, there was also some bug fixes that have been going on. There's been an issue for a lot of people when you try to create a private match, it basically hangs and you get a black screen and an error message called error 71 that appears. Basically, for anybody who has been trying to do competitive Rocket League or playing private matches with their friends, you had to basically attempt like 10 or 15 tries before you got an actual lobby. And we usually had to like break up the party. Everybody tried to find one and then all come together to make it. It was basically like trying to play Among Us, being completely honest, which is a super good time. But glad to see that has been fixed and repaired. They also say that challenges should correctly appear for any new players on the Epic Games Store. They also fixed a bug causing winner by most shots to appear during a competitive match and ending it early. And then they also fixed the infinite loading icon when trying to claim a completed Llama challenge. I showed you guys there is a way to work around that. If you're having issues with challenges and stuff, just make sure when you go into there, and if you can't accept it, back out and then go immediately back in. And if it is still appearing for you, it will still be in your inventory. It's just not going to pop up with that reward. Over to the Rocket League tournament that was recently announced. If you guys don't know, WSOE, or World Series of Esports, put on an event back in February of 2019. It was myself, Wavepunk, James Bott, and I think Achieves that did it. Richard Lewis was the host. It was a $50,000 tournament. You guys will know this tournament as the one that Cookser, Mystic, and Speed won under the Flipside Tactics name. That is a throwback in a roster. They ended up playing, I think it was against like Energy or something like that in the finals. TSM had just come off of their E-League victory, and then this was the first tournament of the 2019 year, which probably claimed 2019 as like the best year in Rocket League esports, because a lot of the pros were like, yeah, there's so many extra events to play. And this was the first one of that year, along with the Dream Hacks and everything else that went down. This one is going to be WSOE Online 3 Rocket League, and this one will be done in two parts. There will be open qualifiers. This is a North American tournament for $10,000. The event will consist of technically 4 days. 2 of those days will be open qualifiers, which will be on October 29th and October 30th. The 30th will be a broadcasted event. The 29th will not be. Following that will be a top 8 event, which will take place on November 7th and November 8th. In this post, they talk about the details on how everything will be held on US East servers, and players from North, Central, and South America can all play. The top 4 teams that come from qualifiers will then advance to play in a pool on the main stage and take on 4 teams that are being invited. We do not know who the invited teams are yet. They do state that this will be announced closer to when the event does go live. The event will be streamed on both YouTube and Twitch, so you should be able to watch it wherever you please. Links to everything WSOE tournament related can be found in the description down below, along with this post, and links in this post to lead to where the sign up pages and stuff like that will be. My recommendation is go to their Twitter page. It's probably where they're going to announce when signups and stuff are live. Otherwise, if you stay up to date on their website, it should have everything you need. I'll try to do my best to also put up a follow-up video for when that stuff does come out. It's crazy to me because in the couple weekends in between the fall split and the winter split, because you're talking right now, today is the 2nd. This will come out on Saturday the 3rd. We have NA Regionals go until the 4th. The following weekend is OCE on the 9th and the 10th. The weekend after that is NA, EU, and South America. And then we have 2 weekends, the 24th and the 25th, and then the 31st and the 1st. So within that like 3 or 4 weeks time, we've already got a $10,000 tournament coming from like a community tournament. So it just shows how lucrative and how excited organizers and stuff really want to support Rocket League right now, which I think is a really good thing, not only with the massive player base, but also just in general. So Rocket League trending in a really good direction. And last but not least, a little bit of feedback. It looks like you guys actually enjoy the way that I open the cups. I'm not one to do like crate openings and stuff. My personality is not this way over the top typical YouTuber style. It's just not how I am. I'm not one to be super boisterous and excited about that kind of stuff unless it's like a Justin goal and I'm losing my mind. So a lot of you actually reading through these comments are like pretty excited about it. You're like, yeah, like I'm not kind of on the whole like crazy over the top crate opening train, but it is nice to watch someone who's a little bit laid back watch it. So I do appreciate the feedback on that. We'll probably make those like a once every couple of weeks, or maybe when I hit 100,000 credits, we'll try to do that, or maybe I'll save up more. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. But in the comments while I was looking, there was someone who was asking about something that I actually don't know the answer to, but I do think it's something worth conversing about. They end up asking about how the MVP stuff will work for RLCSX. For those that don't know, in previous seasons of Rocket League for the RLCS, there was 3 or 4 accolades that were given. One was Golden Striker, the player that had the best goals per game average. There was the savior of the season, which was most saves, which I always hated. I don't think saves are a good accolade. I will say nowadays with how good Rocket League is becoming, it's a little bit more relevant, but saves means that you're playing defense when you should be playing offense. Most teams kind of trade that stat, and there's a way to cheat that stat because if you're a team that's losing, you're usually being shot on more, so therefore you're rewarding one of the teams that's playing worse, which I don't necessarily agree with. I do think like shooting percentage would probably be a better accolade, some way to do that, like deadly striker or something. And then there is also a assist. I forget the assist accolade. But right now, with how long the season is, I actually don't know. In the past, they would reward money at the end of the RLCS season to those 4 players based upon how they performed. And it was actually a big talking point at the World Championship of this was the MVP of the season. This was the MVP of the regional championships leading into the event. But with how long it is, I don't know how they're actually going to do this. I don't think I've seen anything talked about it, not only in the rule set, but also just on broadcast. The guys normally bring it up towards the end of the season, so they may have gone away with this. You then also follow up and asking who do I think MVP is. I have given MVP nods in the past. And the crazy thing about MVP is I'm very biased towards a certain play style, and that's why you have multiple people vote on it. But you wanted to know what mine were. For NA right now, I think it's kind of a toss-up. It's been a little bit all over the place. I think you have to pick either someone from kind of the top rosters, whether it be the top 4, in my opinion, Energy, G2, Envy, and Space Station. I think there's arguments for certain reasons of each. I think Mist is a pretty good shout. Turbo's been doing a really good job. I think Justin, Squishy, now that he's kind of fit, found his fit in Energy is like super important. I think Squishy, now that he's found his fit in Energy, could be in consideration. Garrett has been not as proactive, but he still does kind of the nitty-gritty things that I really appreciate about it in a player. Arsenal was in heavy conversation until they started to have their kind of slump that they've been dealing with the past couple of weeks. But ultimately for the season, I think Arsenal was my first initial pick. And I think when Chrome and Joslo were on the show, we both agreed with that in North America, that it was like, it was Arsenal by far. But Typical, I think, is a good shout as always. Over in Europe, I think is me having a bias towards a specific play style more than anything. And I got to go with Mark by 8. I do agree that someone on BDS or Vitality is probably going to take it at this point. I think Alpha 54 is a fantastic shout for MVP. What he does for Vitality every single week is just incredible. But I'm a huge fan of Mark by 8. I think Mark by 8, he shows that not only can he be a really hard carry and that he can be super dominant on offense and defense, but he also has the opportunity to take a step back and just facilitate everything that is going on with that team. Not only will he be there for a pass cross field to play that downfield to a teammate, but he can also play the defensive half and take a more passive approach and let things develop. That's going to wrap up this video for today. If you guys made it this far, greatly appreciate it as always. But if you have any questions, comments, concerns, drop those in the comments down below. And make sure you like the video as well as hit subscribe and turn on notifications. And we will see you next time. Peace.